24 hours ago, while families were playing at a splash pad on a beautiful afternoon, a man walked up and opened fire. The victims range from just 4 years old to 78, including a mother and her 2 children, one of which is in critical condition. The tragedy shattering the otherwise quiet city of Rochester Hills. The gunman running from the scene, barricading himself in a Shelby Township trailer park, eventually taking his own life, leaving behind a community to wonder how this could happen and what could have been done to prevent it. We're following all of the developments for you and have crews spread out across Rochester Hills. First, let's go to Jack Springate, who's at the splash pad where the shooting took place. All right, Jack, how is the community reacting to this senseless tragedy?
Well, the last thing anyone ever expects when they're enjoying a fun-filled day with the family out at the community splash pad is to then have to flee for their lives as an active shooter unleashes clip after clip of bullets. Now that the unimaginable has happened here in Rochester Hills, this entire community is pitching in to make sure those who were traumatized by this senseless act of gun violence don't have to go through it alone. Just little more than a half an hour ago, several residents spoke some words of encouragement at a prayer vigil.
And if you were to ask me, where was God at 5 p.m. at that splash park, I would say he was there. I think if you were asking me why did he allow it to happen, I would say, I don't know. And I think in these moments, it's okay to not have all the answers.
Sadly, this isn't the first time that Oakland County has had to deal with this type of violence, with the Oxford High School tragedy still in recent memory. Even though that incident might have helped prepare some of the heroes who responded here, there's still the mental scars that might take longer to heal than any bullet wound.
I want to encourage anyone out there who has been traumatized by this event, affected by this event, whether you're a direct family member, a member of Rochester Hills, or you're just a member of the community, we want you to reach out for help.
Anyone struggling in the aftermath of Saturday's mass shooting can find that help at the Rochester Public Services Building.
The supports that are offered there are debriefing and facilitating connection to long-term supports and services if that's needed. For people, for families.
With one of the 9 victims as young as 4 years old, these services not only help parents talk to their kids about what happened, but also how to check in just to see if they're okay.
For younger children in particular, you want to be straightforward, to the point. You don't need to go into a lot of extensive detail, though, and I think it's really important to emphasize, we are safe now, and the people who need to step in and help are doing so.
Patty Motes raised her kids in Rochester Hills for 20 years before moving to Oxford in October of 2021. 1 month later, an active shooter killed 4 people as he rampaged through Oxford High School. Her connection to both tragedies compelled her to drive back to Rochester Hills to pray for those recovering.
I pray for them. I pray for full recovery. I pray for the days to come and the months to come, what they have to remember. And I just needed to say my own prayer, and I just felt this was a good place to do it.
Part of this recovery also includes efforts to make sure no one has to go through something like this again.
We got to get a lot better at prevention because we've gotten too damn good at responding.
And even just hearing about violence like this can have far-reaching impacts, even if you don't live in Oakland County. You're about to see a phone number pop up onto your screen. That is for the Oakland County Nurse on Call. You can call that from 8:30 to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. That's for anyone who can't physically arrive at the Oakland County Public Services Center for that kind of support. Please reach out to that number if you're experiencing any type of trauma or any type of emotions related to this weekend's act of gun violence. No matter where you are, you don't have to go through this alone. Reporting in Rochester Hills, I'm Jack Springate, CBS News Detroit.
Thanks for the information, Jack.